Stoker is a 2013 thriller drama directed by Park Chan-wook and starring Mia Wasikowska, Nicole Kidman and Matthew Goode. I watched this movie right after watching Friend Request, which was the biggest piece of garbage I've seen in a longest time. Or since Texas Chainsaw 4, but whatever. I decided to finally watch this movie. After 4 years since I first saw the trailer. I remember sitting there watching the trailer and going, this looks interesting. This looks different. This looks original. So I decided to give it a watch 4 years later, which is insane, but as most of you know, recently I started watching Korean movies, and Park Chan-wook is one of the better directors I've ever seen, honestly. And this is his first English language movie. And how is it? So freaking good. Like, so good. The story, which is surprisingly enough written by the same guy who was on Prison Break. Yeah. The story is about India Stoker, a young 18-year-old girl whose father has died. And the day of their father's funeral, her uncle, who she didn't even know existed up until then, comes to her house. He's a very seductive person, very charming. And maybe he's having an affair with India's mother, played by Nicole Kidman. Maybe he isn't. And some weird things are starting to go down in the town. And I'm gonna stop right there, because if you go into this movie, you have to go into it blindly, more or less. And these are just the first 5 minutes of the movie, and I love this movie. And not only because of its story, because I love this type of stories. I eat it up always, these family dramas with thrills. I love it, but even though it could have been relatively generic, the execution is what makes this movie worth watching in my opinion, because it's a very artistically and poetically made movie, with interesting editing decisions that at first were a little bit weird. It was like, what? What? Okay. But after a while watching, you start to understand what is happening. There is an excellent use of sound and visual and mixing them together. For example, someone's phone is ringing and then you see someone in a cellar with the constant ringing noise, more or less, of the refrigerator. There are these weird associations with sound and visuals that were great. There are also great transitions between someone brushing someone's hair and then it becoming grass. It's an excellently shot movie. Brilliantly made, and I love the effects of it, the editing, the transition, and the acting is great in my opinion, but I can see some people hating it because it's not your overacting, because I know some people, mainly my family, loves overacting in movies, because we saw Drive one time and they said that Ryan Gosling can't act. Because did you see Drive? Oh, it can't act in it. I thought he actually acted pretty well in it, and that's the same situation here. It's not characters overacting, it's just trying to be as close to reality as possible. You're not always screaming or doing something weird. Once you're talking with someone, you're just talking, you're not necessarily making weird faces constantly, expressing all of your emotions with your face. It's not like that. It's normal people talking, serious people talking, people that are kind of depressed and repressed. Yeah. So, this soundtrack, like with the other Park Chan-wook's movies, spectacular. A spectacular score, and I'm definitely gonna buy it if I can. It's I love these South Korean directors' soundtracks. They're just excellent. They know how to use music in their movies. They really do. And I don't want to say more about this movie just to avoid spoiling anything, but I like the pacing of it. There is also Alden Ehrenreich, the future Han Solo. He was in this movie apparently. I didn't know that. I was like, hey, yeah, it's the guy from Hail Caesar. Yeah, so overall, if you like more Hitchcockian type thrillers, and if you like the director's work, I think you should definitely check this out. I might become disappointed, I might be overhyping it a little bit, but if you like a movie that's more focused on telling a story with more style rather than exposition and substance, I think you should definitely watch it. I loved it, especially after watching the shitty ass friend request. Everything could have been a 5 out of star movie in my opinion, but I think even after watching another excellent movie I would have loved this just as much. But still guys, have you seen Stoker? Do you want to see it? Tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching, to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.